Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Jen Ah. Thanks for joining us on 7 at 7. In Top Stories, sponsored by Nevada Hand Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. Breaking today, a suspect is now behind bars accused of shooting a waiter multiple times at a Chinatown restaurant. Rashawn Gaston Anderson was taken into custody following a citizen tip. He's suspected of shooting Chen Yang Wang at Shanghai Taste on December 20th. Visit lvrj.com for more updates. And the holiday weekend may be over, but the traffic backups not so much as the mass exodus of drivers line up the freeways. Here's a look at the sluggish pace of I-15 near Prim on NDOT's traffic camera. The RTC of Southern Nevada reports cars were backed up for 14 miles at one point on I-15 south toward California. In other news, the North Las Vegas Police Department is facing a federal lawsuit from a deaf woman.
Sit down, or I will sit you down.
Andrea Hollingsworth's children were used as interpreters when police detained her in April. Her attorneys say the officers used excessive force and violated her rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act. A police spokesperson would not comment. What to do with the growing stockpile of radioactive materials scattered around the country? Mounting opposition to proposed nuclear waste storage sites in Texas and New Mexico is keeping Yucca Mountain in the national debate. Review Journal's Renee Summerhour explains. Renee?
Jen, the Biden administration is opposed to Yucca Mountain and announced plans this month to send waste to places where state, local, and tribal governments will accept it. But until the 1987 Nuclear Waste Policy Act is changed by Congress, the controversial Nevada site just 90 miles north of Las Vegas remains. Legislation has failed in the past. The Trump administration pushed to develop Yucca Mountain, but later flip-flopped to seek re-election with Nevada as part of his campaign strategy.
So the big problem appears to be that most places don't want nuclear waste stored in their backyard, even though Nevada has pretty much been able to postpone any kind of storage in Yucca Mountain. Opposition has come up with interim storage sites in Texas and New Mexico.
As of 2019, about 86,000 metric tons of spent nuclear fuel was being stored at 119 sites. Reprocessing waste is mentioned as an alternative or a partial solution, but there are currently no new plans for nuclear fuel reprocessing plants in the U.S. Jen?
In health news, record-breaking demand for COVID testing. The drive-through testing and vaccine site at UNLV's Paradise campus is dealing with long lines. This is what it looked like after a week off for the holidays. In the first hour and a half, the site conducted 375 tests, more than it handles in a typical day. For more testing and vaccine sites, visit lvrj.com. Plus, the Supreme Court will hold a special session on federal vaccine rules. The High Court will reportedly hear arguments January 7th on the Biden administration's plan to require workers at large companies to be vaccinated or get tested weekly. In weather, rain has gone away, but the gusts are here to stay, blowing all across the Las Vegas Valley at around 20 miles per hour earlier today, according to the National Weather Service. We're still under a wind advisory that's expected to last until 3 a.m. After the powerful storm hammered through the west coast, the skies are still looking a bit cloudy. The winds are down to around 15 miles per hour with just a small chance of rain. On Tuesday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 47 and low of 33 degrees with just slight breezes. However, on Wednesday and Thursday, another storm front moves through. In entertainment, sponsored by DiscoverNevada.com, brought to you by Travel Nevada. The Go-Go's delay their holiday performances. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famers shows for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day at the Venetian Theater were moved to February 11th and 12th due to one of its members testing positive for COVID. The Review Journal is owned by the family of Dr. Miriam Adelson, majority shareholder of Las Vegas Sands, which operates the Venetian. And bringing a taste of Burning Man to Las Vegas, the PLAYA Playground is coming to Area 15 this New Year's Eve. The 12-hour event will feature music, food trucks, carnival rides, and 8 art cards, including Simon the Turtle and Torch the Dragon.
Sports, sponsored by Station Casino's STN Sports. Download the app and get a bonus up to $100 when you sign up. The Raiders' COVID-19 list continues to grow. This time, the team added 6 defensive players to that list. Cornerback Casey Hayward, linebackers Corey Littleton, Patrick Owasu, Denzel Perryman, and KJ Wright, and defensive tackle Darius Philon were all put on the COVID-19 list after they tested positive on Monday. Quarterback Marcus Mariota, wide receiver Brian Edwards, offensive lineman Jermaine Illuminor, cornerback Brandon Faison, and safety Roderick Teamer were already on the list and missed Sunday's game against the Broncos. Vaccinated players who test positive for COVID-19 can test out of protocols, so there is a chance these Raiders players could be good to go for the Week 17 matchup versus the Colts. Sports betting, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. Speaking of the Raiders, the Silver and Black are consensus 7-point underdogs to the Colts in Sunday's game. The total is 46, and the Raiders are plus 256 on the money line at Circa Sports. The Colts are minus 850 favorites at Boyd Gaming to earn one of the AFC's 3 wildcard playoff berths.
In Business, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. The arcade and entertainment complex GameWorks is sadly closing its doors. The shuttered locations of GameWorks includes this one at Town Square, which opened in 2014. GameWorks says the continued slow economic recovery left it no other choice. Another part of the economy hit hard by COVID: conventions. Hotel rooms are not as pricey as previous years on the days when the Consumer Electronics Show will be in Vegas. High-end resorts such as the Aria, Wynn, and Cosmopolitan will still run more than $600 a night, but Harrah's, the Luxor, and Excalibur are going for less than $150. In Lifestyle, sponsored by Glittering Lights at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, making the holidays merry for those in need. Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada hosted its traditional Christmas dinner, serving more than 1,000 meals to the vulnerable and homeless.
Last year, I think we did ham, baked ham and stuff. This year, we kind of went for like a roast beef, something different, and it's still traditional with the green beans casserole.
Catholic Charities helps the community all year. If you'd like to help, visit CatholicCharities.com. Thank you for watching 7 at 7. If you have Amazon Fire TV, just search Review Journal to download our channel. Watch Las Vegas Breaking News streaming live on your OTT device. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more 7 at 7.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.